Hi everyone, my name is Kate Emerald, the founder of Life of Emerald. Life of Emerald is for your mind, body, and soul, a simple and practical lifestyle to promote both physical and mental well-being. It's an online studio scaling global impact by spreading world ancient knowledge, spirituality, and cultures. Global Healing Movement 2020 is dedicating to mental health advocacy. Here's a two-part series on shamanism. Today, we'll inquire what ayahuasca is with our sacred guest, Don Gino Chaka Runa. Hi, Don.
Hello, Kate. Nice to meet you again. Hello to all your followers and your viewers.
Thank you for
Yes,
returning.
I'm in your hands.
Okay. Don Gino is a shaman from Peru. And Don, let me ask on behalf of our audience, what is
Yes.
ayahuasca?
Wow. Well, I don't know much about ayahuasca, but uh, it's, well, the description of ayahuasca is a plant. It's a whole world inside this plant, spiritual world. You know, plants have been here millions of years before we got into this realm, into this Mother Earth. So they carry a lot of knowledge, they carry a lot of information inside. They trespass from plant to plant like we do to our children. So ayahuasca is a plant from the Amazon basin. It grows in Peru, Brazil, Ecuador, Colombia, and maybe some others. And it's a Quechua word comprised by two words, aya and huasca. Quechua is the original language of the Inca culture, the Inca Empire in Peru. And it means literally, aya means death, and huasca is rope or vine. So it's the vine of the death, which can be translated also because the death is the word of the spirits, the vine of the spirits. And if you are asking me about the brew, then we have to start by explaining that that it's two plants that conform the brew: the ayahuasca vine, which by itself is called ayahuasca also, and the chacruna leaves. And when you mix them both, the tea that comes from that mixture is again called ayahuasca. So ayahuasca is only the vine, but also the tea that comes from this old preparation of the native communities in the Amazon. And it's been used since thousands of years in the tribal communities in the Amazon for many purposes, for sometimes social gathering, or maybe to prepare to go hunting the next day, because it changes your vibration, it enhances your senses. So here in the tribal mode, you want that changes your odor, your smell, to be able to get in the deep Amazon and get your praise for food, probably. Also was using for divination. The shamans or the elders of the communities will use this plant for forecasting or for foreseeing events that will come to the community. As I explained the other interview, the divination will go to forecasting the weather maybe, or events coming from other communities towards this community. Even it was also used, like, let's say in the community, one of the members lost a cow, and then he will go to the shaman, and the shaman would drink ayahuasca, go in other realms, and then come back, and then he would say, okay, your cow, you see that little cabana on top of the mountain, go there, your cow is there. And indeed, peasant would go and the cow was there, maybe because it was stolen or it got lost or whatever. And of course, also for healing, the community, the the general vibration of the community, the general consciousness of the community, and for healing physically, emotionally, the members of the community, and also for shamanic initiation. It was one of the most strong tools for shamanic initiation. Nowadays, it is used uh, again for healing mainly, and to open up to other realms that at the end will uh, expand your consciousness, make you more aware of life and what you're going through. So that is my definition. It's a very personal view and approach on the basis of my experience and what I have walked on that world.
Thank
Yeah.
you for that explanation. You begin with saying you don't know much. That shows, the humility in your wisdom. That it's hard to know all. Like there's depth. There's depth to what this plant is about, and at the same time, you know a lot about it. So, okay,
It's
so.
better. It is better to have your cup empty, because if your cup is full of tea, you cannot try any other tea. What makes the cup useful is the void, the hole, the emptiness. Otherwise, you cannot use that cup because it's always full. So I rather say, I don't know, because it is so much, so huge world in the plants that you always get to know more and more and more. So I rather have my cup empty all the time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Our next question is,
Yes.
how does ayahuasca acts in a human body in terms of the physical level and their heart, emotional level, their consciousness, mind level, and their soul, higher self level. And all this combined, we're comprised of body, heart, mind, and soul. And we're I believe, spiritual being having a human experience on this dimension with our physical body. And so, how does ayahuasca acts in you? Is the question.
Okay. Uh, in my experience, well, now everybody calls ayahuasca the medicine. I don't know about that really, because we all have the capacity to heal ourselves. But how can you heal something you don't know that you have? Let's say there are many people that are crazy, but they don't know. And when you come to these plants, they show you what you're carrying. They show you what is your disease. They show you what is your pain, your wounds, your traumas, your phobias, your sadness, your unconsciousness. So I will say it is a, a key. It is a key to allow you to look inside. It is the best key I have found in my path. There are others, of course, plants as well, like San Pedro, peyote, mushrooms, toé, iboga, and many others. All of those are keys that open you to different realms. Same spiritual realm, but kind of different worlds in this spiritual realm. Ayahuasca has a very clear feminine spirit. That is why many people call this brew the mother. And as a mother, she shows you and points to you your flaws, your weaknesses, your mistakes, what you did wrong to yourself or to others. And then sometimes it's hard because you're facing certain truths in your life you were not able to see in this dimension. When you go to this other dimension, then there is nothing from the outside world that can blind you. You can see crystal clear with no layers what you're carrying, what created that wound from your past, probably from your childhood, abandonment, physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, you name it. And then once you get to see the pain and the wound that you're carrying, once you get to see the source and the origin, then it's done. And this beautiful plant works uh, by purging you, squeezing you. It's very funny because the vine has a shape of a snake, is of a rope coiled within itself. And most of the times it is two vines, and then it's like twisted. And this is exactly what she does. She really squeezes you to purge everything out. How? Through your body holes in many ways. In the Amazon, the old times, they will never say, let's go take ayahuasca. They will say, let's go take the purge, because it's a cleansing of all your heavy baggage. It's a cleansing of all your sadness, your sorrows, and what you don't need anymore, so you can keep walking lighter. And the cleansing can be through the vomit, purging, uh, through going to the toilet, crying, sweating, shaking. Yeah. So once the purging and the cleansing is done, everything comes out from your system. And it's like a reboot, it's like a reset in many levels. In the body, so many people have pain in the body or in joints, and it's really interesting how emotional wounds or pain get stored in certain parts of the body that you don't know what is the origin. Suddenly your shoulder is always in pain and you don't understand, you cannot move your arm. There was a case of a man that came in ceremonies, and he could not move his right arm. It was always like twisted, and he didn't understand. And he came to many retreats, like 2, 3 retreats in a row, and suddenly he came one day. He said, "Don Gino, look,
No.
I can move my arm. It's gone."
Uh-huh.
And I said, "Yeah, I know, because the tools are very strong." But the detail was that he saw in his vision that when he was a young boy, his older brother will punch him in the face repeatedly every day. And he will cover with his arm. And it was all stored, this emotion in his arm. And once he saw the source and purged it out, he was free. So the body stores everything, and this brew is very good for healing many diseases. Healing, I mean, or showing you what you need to heal, because at the end you are the one that, by seeing and accepting and forgiving and purging, then you get the healing. You take the decision. She just shows you, look here, look here, look here. It's like a movie of all the things you have gone through, but not a movie, but you are there, you are the main actor. And then in the emotions as well, you can see all the emotions that you have gone through, what really hurted you in your life, or some things that you did to others also. There is a lot of crying, really deep. Like I always say, the tears in the ceremonies are like golden tears, diamond tears. Really, you feel the so much release in your heart, in your emotions. And the mind as well, she shows you how contaminated your mind is, full of really things you don't need, that takes all your energy, getting in the loop and clinging to the wound and to the past. You are already 40 and you still cling to that wound that happened when you were 10. So she shows you what you need to release, and then you let go and you set yourself free. So it clears the mind, putting joy. And the soul, I don't believe the soul needs healing, because the soul is shining always, but it's covered and dimmed with layers. I would say it reconnects you with your spiritual energy, and then you become a whole. Because you see, when we come to this realm, if you look at the little baby, it's just came through the womb, totally fresh. The body has no pain, has not been contaminated. Emotions, hardly just the love for the mother. When the baby looks at the mother's eyes, full of chemicals and endorphins and serotonin, the mind, what thought can a baby have? Is blank, just in the now, living in the now. And just came from the source, so totally connected with the spirit. The spirit, the message is the baby is one. And then we go through life and start separating the four components. The body is in one way, the emotions broken, full of things from society, school, family. The body gets broken also, or you put only stress in your body, working out, only the body, the body, the body, the emotions, you don't care. Some people put more stress on the mind, really smart, can go through life with really sharp mind. Some other people are very good in having balance, even if they go through very heavy emotions, but they can handle. And some other people just go on the spiritual world and religion and meditation, and it's four units separate, sometimes putting more weight on one of them. But the work of the shaman is to reunite as one what is broken. This is the purpose. So this is a very, very good tool for allowing you to heal yourself and allowing you to become again one, like when you were a little baby. Uh, yeah. Then, of course, it once you go in other realms, you get awareness that this is not the only dimension. There are other dimensions, and then you start to wake up, which means I understand. Now I know what is going on. Now I know what I need to do in my life. Now I know what to let go. Now I know my purpose and my path of the time I still have to live. And that for me is, I call it waking up, because most of the people are sleeping.
Yeah.
And people think that when they open their eyes in the morning, oh, I'm awake. And at that moment, you are even more sleeping than when you are sleeping in bed. Okay, that is my answer.
Wow, well said. You covered the body, mind, heart, and soul, all of that in one. And I enjoy listening to you describing the shape of the ayahuasca implant, and it's
Mm-hmm.
two coils. Like
Yeah,
when you do laundry, you're squeezing the
yeah,
water out of
exactly,
it.
exactly,
That's the shape of the ayahuasca, and
exactly.
that is exactly the consciousness. When you take this, the mother, the female presence helps you squeeze it out, just like the plant of shape. And I imagine different plants have different configuration, physical configuration. Therefore, it acts similarly in terms of the functionality in your healing
Yes,
journey.
that's very true.
Uh-huh. Wow.
It's
So
very true. That she's called also the mother because as a mother points at you and shouts at you and demands from you, you have to do this, look here, look there. And after the work, you feel the presence of a mother really hugging you and rocking you and taking you at bliss, like saying, you did so well. I'm so proud of you. And that's why she's called the mother. Some people call her the grandmother. I call her the mother.
she's fierce and loving. She wants
Yeah.
the best for you, for us. Okay. Our next question is, so for audience who may try ayahuasca uh, in the opportune future, how to integrate in daily life, the topic around super inflated ego. And my theory is
Hmm.
that this happens because of severe invalidation happened in the past. One of the explanation of that. And no connection with the work. If people have no connection with the concept, and how do one become aware to integrate this information in their daily life?
Okay, that's a very good question, and it's something new because some years ago, decades, mm, that word didn't exist in this world. Integration, you need to integrate because the natives they live in the communal mode, tribal mode, and community. This they're used to this. They intake this brew, they do whatever they need to do, the work, the social gathering, the cleansing, the healing, and then they don't go anywhere. They stay there in their daily lives as normal. Nothing has changed. In the other hand, you have newcomers from the Western world with such a different culture, different daily life, different routine, different food, different habits, different problems, and then they come in the Amazon, they feel unite again, they got the healing, the cleansing, everything is beautiful and fine, but then they have to go back home and they want to put what they got in a nice little box, wrap it up and put the red ribbon to bring it as a gift home as you were given. And that is not possible because you will go with this square box in your life, and what is waiting for you is a triangle. It will never fit.
Mm.
So you have to change things. Integration for me is, first of all, to embrace what you were given, the cleansing, the healing, the awareness, to accept it, to accept that there are changes you need to make, there are things you need to let go, and that is the only door that you will make it work. It only depends on you. If you really want to take this experience back home and make it work, you have to make changes. You have to be flexible. You have to drop things. You have to embrace other things. You have to accept this new person, I would say, but not even new, because that one that you feel you are now transformed was always there, but covered with layers. All these layers has been peeled and dropped like an onion, peel and peel and peel until you get to the core. So you were always that person, but now it's there. The new or the real you has popped up, but the old one, the egotic mind, the me, that this is my routine, that doesn't want to let go. It's still there. So the new one will always bounce back. if you don't create the space, and then the new one can take over, and the one you thought you were, or what the ego makes you believe you are, will vanish. You can rescue your identity, your spiritual identity, but all the layers, which are the ones that make you believe that you are that, should go. That is letting go. Then you can integrate everything and have a real life. Uh, yeah, because we have a tendency to think we are what we do, or we are what we have, and we are not, or we are what we think, which we are not also. I mean, let's say you're a congressman, and from nothing you become a congressman, and you have bodyguards and a black nice car and a red carpet to get into places, a special treatment, and you feel that, and you get used to that. And then when the term of Congress is gone and you're not reelected, you go down to zero, and there is a big depression and a craving. But because you identify with the doing, I am Congress, then I am. Or the having. Maybe you have a nice house in the beach, or I don't know, a nice car, a Maserati or a Mercedes. But then suddenly maybe your house got flooded by a tsunami, no house anymore, and your car is stolen, and then those things are not there. But if you identify with this, I am because I have this house and I have this car, then you're destroyed, you will suffer. So whenever you put your happiness and your joy of everything from outside, you will really go down. Nothing wrong about abundance. I'm not saying this. What I'm saying is whatever you can have and make it happen in your life is good. But do not identify. Do not get attached. Things come and go.
Mm.
The one that only stays is you. Everything around changes and transforms. So yeah, everything you say, you can say my or mine, is not you. My house, my car, my children, not even your children, they will walk away one day. My wife's property, or what, even my soul, that is the one you are. Who is saying my soul? Uh-huh. So you have to be aware of this. So yeah, integration is that, is making really a list of what the messages you got, giving them a priority, what has more value to you, you know, make a plan of going through the process of changing and leaving things behind. Don't get sucked in society again, or in the matrix. Many changes will come. Your taste will change, food. You will probably drop alcohol, drugs. You will be more at ease with yourself, instead of craving for people around you, which also you will go through that, but with a different approach. You will be more careful who you work with, because there are many toxic people, and at the end, you become who you work with. And you embrace who you listen to. So be aware who you listen to and who you work with. Integration is mainly done on your own. Sometimes you need some help from family or loved ones. And at the end, by repetition, if you have to drop something and you have the intention, say no. no, 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 repetition, repetition. Then it will hammer in your subconscious and it will make it as part of you. Practice, practice, repetition, repetition. Yeah, we when we learn the letters in school, like A, B, C, D, you learn it through a song.
Mm.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, na, na, na. And that you repeat and repeat and repeat for 2 or 3 years until it's part of your subconscious.
Mm.
And then you don't need to sing anymore or
Mhm.
repeat. So this is the same. I recommend repetition of what you want to accomplish on your new being. That is on the integration.
Yeah, well put. And integration is a daily practice, even before and after the experience with ayahuasca.
Yeah.
And it's not, it sounds like it's significantly helpful for healing and transformation, the ayahuasca. However, it's not a single fix because we are responsible of our journey, and this is life is our like a marathon race, almost like marathon race. I like your
Mm.
ABC analogy, the singing. We have to repetition, use repetition to hone in the skills to learn
Yeah.
ABC. And in order for us to hone in the new habit, we have to repetitively continue to implement new habits that are supporting your evolution and the new consciousness that you birthed after the ayahuasca. Thank you for sharing that with us, our audience.
Yes, because I just one more thing. This brew or this process, when you go through it, it's not a magic wand, like a magic stick for the
Wand.
magicians.
Mhm.
Wand, a
Magic.
magic wand, or a wonderful pill. I mean, it's done. No, that is the first step: the cleansing, the looking, the accepting, the forgiveness, and the embracing. Then the work comes, because otherwise it will just be a 10 days or 20 days process, and bit by bit you go back to old habits, to toxic people, and it will vanish. That
Mm.
is why it's repetition. It is in your hands. I am giving you this. You got the cleansing, you got the healing. What are you going to do with this? It is totally up to you. Not like the mother who will say, not my monkeys, not my circus. This is for you. Now you're given this. What are you going to do with it? It's totally up to you.
Mm.
And then if you have the will, the real acceptance, and the clarity of what you really want to keep in your life, it will happen. This integration is that this you integrate two or more things into one. So integrate all what you have given into your life, dropping things behind, creating the space, telling to the one that you were told you were by your egoic man,
Mm.
get out of my life. I don't need you. This is me. And voila.
Not a magic one, but initiation to betterment, the new future. And
Yes.
everyone is our own mother and father. And the mother ayahuasca comes in and assists us. And
Exactly.
we're, our our responsibility is to take a hold of our own life and destination. Cool. So
It's like becoming your. It's like you walk, because every life is like a entrepreneur. It's like a your own company. This
mhm,
is my company.
I like that.
You are the manager or the CEO,
Uh, we are the
and then
CEO of our
and
life.
then and then Yeah, but then again, when you come to these medicines, you see that you really did a really lossy work as a CEO. What is this? You're a failure. So you come there, you take this medicine, you really see, and then you say to yourself, to your CEO, Kate, you know what, Kate? You did a lossy work. You're fired. I'm taking over. And then you take over, the real CEO.
The one
But
that's
this,
underneath the onion layers, right? The
that
soul.
has to be fired.
Uh-huh.
Go away, and
Oh,
then the new CEO takes over.
oh, lovely. I want to be a new CEO. Anyway,
Yes.
our next our next question.
Yes. Okay.
Um, this is about the ritual.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to combine these two questions for our audience. And what is the perfect ayahuasca ceremony and the
Hmm.
standard phases for a participants to go through before, during, and after a ritual? You mentioned
Wow.
already about habit building. One of
Sorry.
the
What
you
was that?
mentioned already about building new habits,
Uh-huh.
uh, and and I want I would like to ask you on behalf of our audience, what are what is the attitude, great attitude, uh, to put an intention towards the ritual and dealing with people's darkness. Yeah. Um,
Okay.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
So, the perfect ceremony. I think nothing can be perfect. There is no perfect. Everything can be perfectable. Indeed, perfect is the enemy of good enough.
Mm,
Take good enough because otherwise you will miss out. But in regarding ceremony, well, this I totally understood that this rules no other realms, and I think it is connected to the Inca cosmovision, to the because the Inca cosmovision is based on the three dimensions. I explained, I think, that the other day: the underworld, this world, the human world, and the higher world. So I think one of the best ceremonies is the one that you can go through those three dimensions, those three worlds, because some people get stuck in the underworld. The whole ceremony is dark, 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 and they get in the loop.
mm,
Some people just go through it with not much happening, or some people just go at bliss also. And it depends. I mean, like depends also, of course, in the shaman who is responsible of the space and how you're guided. And that is one of the most delicate things you have to really be aware of. Who do you go to? Are you safe? Are you going to get what you're meant to get? So set and settings are two very uh, words in trend now on this regard. Set meaning your attitude, your uh, intention, say, or what you expect, and setting, of course, the space, the group, the venue, the ceremony itself, if it's a ceremony or not. Because nowadays the new age is jump in and they just put you in a room and put a playlist and two people watching at you with no guidance or yeah. So the setting is very important, really important. Clean, the space should be cleansed before the shaman has to take the right to work in that space, verbalizing alone, praying, smashing, singing, and then you take the space to work for the light. That is the setting. Of course, you need comfort to do your work, facilities, toilets, uh, environment of a ritual. These medicines or these brews work much better through a ritual, and then you have the tools to go through your process at ease. Sometimes even the temperature can affect you. If it's too hot, you cannot let go, and you're suffocating. Or if it's too cold, you get into the coldness, and you're taken into that sense. So it's good to have a very well setting. Uh, the set, I'm not sure about that one. I have a different approach and understanding. You can take the attitude that I would say is the main thing of the setting, that intention or expectation, zero, no need. Because once you come with expectations, you're done. Expectations will only build walls. When you don't get what you expect, then you get a wound. If you expect something from your loved one and you don't get that, then you get a wound, expectation. The same here. You expect because you come with your mind full of ideas, or what you saw in YouTube, or what you read, or stories that you heard from other people. Nobody can tell you what it is like. The only way is to go through it. So if you come with other people's experiences, I don't recommend, because it will get you stuck into that expectation, not allowing the spirit to get inside. I always say to the people, come as blank as you can, empty, ready, and with an open heart. That's all we need. Your mind, zero. And if you come with intentions, it's the same, because you're set. I want to go there. I want to get this. This is what I need. And 99.9% of the people that come thinking what they need is not what they need, is what they want.
So we
And
get
Mother will never give you what you want, but will give you what you need. And I have not met a spirit that knows better for each one of us. Really. So set attitude, at ease, tranquilo, no expectations, a loving heart, surrendering, really surrendering and letting go of control of the mind. I even ask people in the ceremony, please don't, just surrender. That means letting go everything, even your body, because some people go into yoga and oming with the legs crossed, and that is control. Because look at me, I can still control my body. Yoga is a wonderful tool, before and after. During the process, just be present. That is all the Spirit asks from you, to surrender, to give control to this beautiful Spirit. You try to control everything in your life, always with the time. Or this has to be there, this has to be there. Once you're not in control, you kind of freak out. And it's so stressing. And this is a beautiful opportunity that you can give control to somebody else during 4 hours, not having to worry about anything. Here it is. Take me, I'm in your hands. So that for me is the setting. The process in ceremony, as I said, in my approach, in my knowledge, and in my lineage, is to come in the space, of course, doing a pre-diet to cleanse and detox your body. It's very important to detox the body. The less toxins you bring, the more easy the medicine will get in your system. This is already known about the food: no salt, no sugar, no contaminated foods or drugs, alcohol. You have to really be clean for 2 weeks, minimum 1 week before coming to the space. Uh, at ease, no big emotional issues in your with your loved ones or your family or at work. You just have to be 2 weeks or 1 week at ease, clean food, healthy food, light food, no contamination of external um, uh, compounds or alcohol, drugs, whatever, marijuana. Just clean, light, at ease, and flowing. That is the first stage. Open heart. You have to build a trust in yourself, trust in the shaman, trust in the ritual, trust in the group, trust in the medicine, in the spirit of the mother. And that depends on the shaman to build, to create a bridge so you can really let go and trust who you are with. If you don't trust, it will be a mess because you will be grabbing into something, not letting go. This you need to surrender. And to surrender, you need two things: will, you have the will because you are in the space, and trust. Trust is not given for granted, it is earned. So the shaman has to earn your trust. Then the mother will earn your trust after the first ceremony for sure. So then you go in the ceremony is open, the participants, we are all individuals in the space, and after 45 minutes, 1 hour, everybody becomes one conscious, one energy in the spiritual realm. From there, the ceremony more or less is 4 hours, 5 hours. It has waves. This medicine works in waves, so comes high, gets low, another wave, and then the release. So it's in the peaks that you get to release all what you have inside through the icaros of the shaman. Every shaman has his own icaros, empowered for different purposes during the ceremony. Uh, you don't plan. A shaman doesn't plan what to sing. I just go there. I don't even know what I'm going to sing. Even the opening icaro just comes at the moment. And you have to be the one that has to surrender the most is the shaman. He's just there for the spirits to work through him. And then icaros will come, certain actions will be taken. Nothing is planned. No ceremony is the same. Every ceremony is different. Every group is different. Every energy in the space is different. And of course, there will be the cleansing and the purging. After half the ceremony, you start getting a lot of insights for your life, transforming. And in the last part, everybody just comes back. I bring everybody back because this is like an orchestra. It is not about holding space. A shaman doesn't hold the space. I mean, what is it? You're gonna fence the space. Sometimes the ceremony is down in the open. You're gonna put a fence to it, or what? The shaman creates the space for things to happen. Holding the space is holds by the energy of the shaman. Even if you go out of the circle, you get out of the journey sometimes. You come in, boom, immediately. So this is a space that is created and holds as a balloon, as a sacred cocoon, where everything is trembling. And then, as I said, after the process, you go at bliss and some beautiful songs for the heart. We all become a family. That is the ceremony itself. So it says, before during, but that during is not, as I said, a magic pill. It's not like, I don't work with one ceremony because for me it's like wanting to meet this huge universe and world, and it's like one ceremony is like opening the window, getting your head in, and wow, okay, a little pershing, wow, the roller coasters. You don't get in. Still, I always work with 3 retreat, 1, 2, and boom. Most of the times, the first ceremony is mild, or people get really a joy in the heart, and then the second one is really tough. You really bite the dust because you. This is it's nobody's fault.
Uh-huh.
The spirit of the mother is not doing this. She's just showing what you brings. That's all she does. You bring this, you face this. Some people bring big baggage. Some other people don't. And they don't have to face many things. So it depends on what you have built in your life, what you're bringing. And of course, the more you bring, the more has to come out. But also, the more you release, the more joy and happy you will be. And then, so I recommend 3 ceremonies. Then you go deeper and deeper in a gentle way. No rush. You don't have to overdo. I never, in my work, my first value is, my priority is safety for everybody. So not every participant in Peru, where I work, takes the same amount. It depends on the interview I do, because I have to interview really personal questions to know what you're bringing. That will give me tools that will open your wounds also. Many people cry only in the interview, and then your wound is open and the medicine can go straight there. So that is my approach on my work. And then at the end, the third ceremony, most of the people get the closure. It's like the cherry in the cake. And then we go all at bliss and joyful. That is the work inside the space, in ceremony, which is, I'm sorry to say, just the beginning. The work comes at home. That is the real work, how to deal with what you got, your approach, your new attitude towards life, your being in balance, flexibility. Stop clinging into the past. The past is gone. You only have the now. Future, what do you worry? If you live in pain, you live in the past. If you live in anxiety, you live in the future for things that has not happened, or that maybe will not happen ever. So yeah, then there's the integration, which I already explained. Those are the process of what people will go through. I hope that is clear.
Yeah, very clear.
So you're ready to come to do your work.
So I would like to reiterate small piece that you shared. The before, during, and after the ritual, the majority of work, you say, done from home. And so I'm getting this imagery of that you do work before you come to the ceremony.
In the ceremony is the main work, because you
Yeah.
have to really let go, cleanse, get the healing, but to not keep that in this short term and not allow it to vanish, then the second work starts, which is longer, and sometimes it's also hard.
Sure. So the before, during the ritual, and then after the ritual, depending on who you are, you may bring this much of baggage or this much of baggage, and that will be determined based on how much work you've done before the ceremony, or how much awareness you have before the ceremony, and
Or how
during
much baggage you have to
sure,
bring in the space.
sure, and then during the ritual, you work with the mother goddess, uh, the plant, and then the after also is a continual journey. You have to
Yes,
commit to it. Okay.
which mainly depends on you. Of course, sometimes people need support. That's why I kind of build always a group that can communicate between themselves, support sometimes directly with me. If people get stuck or troubled, I give some advice, hints, guidelines, uh, and then it's more easy for you. It just takes a couple of months.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, okay. Well, I think this is ample amount of information for our audience today. So this is a two-part series on shamanism, and on the first session, Don Gino and I spoke, or Don primarily spoke about what is shamanism and who is a shaman, and is the process of being chosen as a shaman, and the four legs of shaman, which is the seer, the warrior, the healer, and the fourth important role is maestro.
Mm-hmm.
And today was the second piece of the shamanism, and we spoke deeply about ayahuasca in terms of plant and its healing effect on
Yeah.
human and the body, heart, mind, soul, integration in daily life, also what to not expect or have any expectation before, during, and after the ritual, and learning the art of surrendering to the plant working through your body, mind, and soul, and the importance of what type of ayahuasca ceremony that you may be uh, hosting. And that's the things that Don Gino shared. May I ask where in Peru area this might occur?
Well, I live in Peru, in the Sacred Valley, Cusco, and have time in the Amazon, in Pucallpa, where I hold dietas, which is the next step. You see, in this work, some people work with single ceremonies, one or two retreats, which is 3 days, one after the other. And the next step is dieta, which is 10 days or 20 days or 30 days, depending on how deep you want to go and your availability of time and the will you have. Some people need longer, some people need shorter, but that is where we really go deep. That is the best way to get the healing, to connect with the plants, in nature, in the house of these beautiful spirits. So many spirits around the trees, the river, the beautiful animals, and you're isolated. You work on your own. We come alone to this world and we live alone.
Mm.
This work also is to be done alone. It is your work. Nobody else will do it for you. So that means you are, this dieta means, comes, many people attach it to food, but here when you say I'm going to do a dieta, is because you're going to diet some plants. So we all gather and we, beyond drinking the brew of ayahuasca, every day people have to drink master plants, which are other plants, with no psychoactive. Many plants, renaquilla, tawari, ayauma, chirisanango, uchusanango, many plants, different plants for different purposes. Every plant has a teacher. That is why they're called master plants, a spirit. We call them the mother of the plant, la planta comadre. And that plant will teach you one you intake every day. Every day you drink a bottle. no journey. It's just also has mm, really medicine purposes. Some plants are anti-tumoral, anti-cancer, diabetes. Some plants are to heal wounds inside in your stomach, ulcers. Other plants are to heal bones or tissue, muscle.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, so this is what we diet. We diet the plant with very little food, no salt, no sugar during the whole term. You
Mm.
have your little long cabana,
Mm.
really raw, no walls, just mosquito net. So you kind of are sleeping in the middle of the Amazon,
Mm.
and uh, and then what happens is that you diet from everything. You diet from comfort. You diet from internet. You diet from your cell phone. You diet from family. You diet from your car, from your house, from your work, from your money. You diet from everything, meaning you're taking from this
Mm.
place where you have all this life to
Mhm.
another place where you have nothing,
Mm.
only a mosquito net, 3 by 3 little cabana,
Mm.
with no internet, no phone, no family, no car, no comfort, no money. It's just you with you,
Uh-huh.
you with you.
Mm.
And that is the big question that you ask, who are you
Mm.
when nothing is around?
Mm. I'm ready to do this thing adventure. I'm ready.
You're more than welcome. There will be two. I only work in Peru now. I do 3 dietas in the year, mainly January, February in the Amazon, and April in the Sacred Valley of the Andes. Very powerful also, where we go visit the old shamans in the highlands. They're still alive, the Incas,
Mm.
really humble people. I bring the people there because three words are learned there, the meaning: thankfulness and gratitude,
Gratitude,
respect,
respect,
and humbleness.
humbleness. Mm.
Really important
Mm.
for a ceremony.
Mm.
And then, yeah, there's two different settings: Amazon, with all the nature, the power, the magic of the Amazon, and the Andes, with the power and the mysticism of this ancient culture. And of course, here you get to visit the ruins of the Incas, Machu Picchu, and also other plants like San Pedro. And also, we work with Cabo in the Amazon, in the Andes, before getting in the ceremonies to cleanse your body and your emotions. And then we jump in. And we also do very important purification and protection, sacred ritual baths with Amazonian plants in both places. And that really takes all what you bring in from the city, clearing your space, clearing your aura, your energies, and covering you with protection
Mm.
through your whole dieta. When you get the bath, you should not go in the river or shower. You have to allow the plants to get it through your skin. Yeah, it's a whole process. It's a whole process. Very, very complete. Now I integrated also a little workshop of 4 days of visionary painting, which is a trending where you can get to paint during 4 days in one canvas all the visions that you get in each ceremony, and you bring that piece at home. It's
Mm.
very important to have icons in your integration process.
Mm.
Also, the music, the Icaros, resonating when you're at home will help you to go back to your process. That is repetition, repetition, remember, remember, remember. Yeah, there are many, many ways. So that is the support I give to the people. I'm already close to my 64 years old, and then I do this work from my heart for the people. No highest reward than after a dieta or a retreat, looking in the eyes and see finally who is inside. because when I see them the first day, I knock, knock, knock. Nobody here. So many layers, so many, really, it's unbelievable.
Mm,
Very well. I hope this was a good program for you, my dear Kate.
mm,
And well, there you
yeah.
go. One more thing.
Uh-huh.
Really, these medicines, I always say, is not for everybody. You have to have a call. You have to have the will, not just coming for a journey or curiosity. It's okay. At the end, whoever comes will get a kick anyway. It doesn't matter the reason. But I don't recommend the use of entheogens. This is very delicate. Only when you have the will, something to heal, you have the trust, and you go into somebody's hands that you can surrender and be safe,
Mm,
then probably it's a good idea. But otherwise, all what you have heard is my own approach and based on my own experience. Again, I might be totally wrong.
mm.
So listen to yourself.
Very well. Okay. Here's where we say, see you later, Don Gino. And thank you for tuning in a two-part series on shamanism, everybody. Life of Emerald is an online studio scaling global impact by spreading world knowledge, ancient wisdom, spirituality, and cultures. And I'm running Global Healing Movement 2020, and it's dedicated to mental health advocacy. I can be reached at lifeofemerald@gmail.com, and our website is www.lifeofemerald.com. Take care, everyone. Bye. Bye,
Yep.
Don Gino. Thank
Goodbye. If
you.
you want to get in touch, it's Don Gino Chaka Runa in Facebook.
Thank you
Goodbye.
very much.
Thank you for your invitation. Bye bye.
Bye.